But Epstein signs off by saying, "I believe that this information belongs to you, and under gang stuff rules, I cannot simply be the repository of people's hushed calls and not share with you." The phrase gang stuff rules, is that a familiar phrase to you in this context?
But that was just how he talked.
So at the very end of this email, Mr. Wexner, I would say close to the very end, there's a sentence that starts with, "I believe that this information." And if you see that, I'm sure your counsel can guide you to it. And I'll read that out loud. This is a long email. It seems to relate to business topics and people. But Epstein signs off by saying, "I believe that this information belongs to you, and under gang stuff rules, I cannot simply be the repository of people's hushed calls and not share with you." And the subject of the email is, "For Les's eyes only, please do not circulate." So the phrase gang stuff rules, is that a familiar phrase to you in this context?
Jeffrey was like a Brooklyn guy. And in hindsight, he didn't use words like have a confidential discussion or my opinion or this is secret or private or confidential, personal, things that lawyers or accountants might use in normal language. He would say, "This is gang stuff."
Got it. So
But that was just how he talked.
it was a phrase that Mr. Epstein would use to mean confidential conversations.
To me, yes.
Okay. And this,
I don't think I never used the other words, which in hindsight, I didn't. But my wife would never say, "It's between us, dear." You know, their words or phrases that you associate with some people. And to me, it was just kind of funny that this Brooklyn guy would talk about gang stuff, and gang stuff might be what he ate for dinner or something.
Would he use that phrase pretty commonly, whether it's in a verbal conversation or a written email?
I don't specifically remember, but I don't think he ever said confidential or private. It was like his language.
Okay, thank you. With respect to, we can move on from that email. With respect to the power of attorney that you gave Mr. Epstein 1991, I know it was discussed earlier. Could you just flesh out for us a little bit the theory of an unfettered power of attorney? In other words, it wasn't conditional or restricted to a particular account or particular type of asset. It covered, as we understand it, all of your assets, which is an enormous, I think, step of trust. What is your recollection of why you made that choice?
Funnily enough, I think power of attorney is that. So the notion of having a limited power of attorney was kind of and that's just not how I would think about it. So Harold had a power of attorney, Jeffrey had a power of attorney, Dennis Hirsch had a power of attorney, because they needed it to do their work.
And did the advisor, as you recall, it sounds like the previous advisor before Mr. Epstein and the subsequent advisor after Mr. Epstein both had the same scope of power of attorney?
I don't know specifically, but I would think they were. I don't recall what the words say, but I think power of attorney is that.
We've seen reporting, I think in the New York Times, that you accompanied Mr. Epstein to visit the White House in 1993, a few months after President Clinton took office. Do you have any recollection of that?
Absolutely didn't happen.
Didn't happen?
Well, I'd been at the White House, but the only time I was at the White House when Clinton was president, he invited a group of like 20 CEOs from around the country to get feedback on the economy. And that was said. And I was there like the president of one of the lumber companies, the chairman of JP Morgan, Sears, companies like that. I was kind of the smallest fish in that bowl. But it was that purpose.
And Mr. Epstein was not present.
Of course not.
So, as far as you know, you did not visit the White House under any administration with Mr. Epstein.
I never visited the White House under any administration, under any circumstance with Mr. Epstein.
Okay.
That I'm positive of.
The New York Times has also reported that at your 59th birthday party, Mr. Epstein acted as sort of a master of ceremonies. He would give toasts and introduce guests and arrange for some people such as Alan Dershowitz and Shimon Peres to attend. Do you recall the party that I'm describing?
Well, Shimon was at a couple of birthday parties. I don't remember Jeffrey being there. If the party was in Columbus, I probably could remember 4 or 5 of the people that were there, and it was a surprise too.
Do you recall, I suppose at any birthday party, but that one in particular, Mr. Epstein playing that sort of a role as a master of ceremonies of sorts?
No. I'm thinking, even at the party that I was thinking about, the Shimon Peres, if you ask me who was there, he wouldn't have been on the list. It's not who I remember. It was a different kind of group of friends that Abigail picked to come to the party.
But to the original question, do you recall Mr. Epstein ever acting as a master of ceremonies at a birthday party for you?
No, absolutely not. Never.
You gonna keep quoting the New York Times?
It's a good thing I don't read newspapers very often. That's crazy.
I'd like to introduce as Minority Exhibit H I'll give you a moment to look this over. It's just one page.
Make 3 copies.
Stanley or Stanley.
So this is a file that was part of the recent DOJ release, and it's some kind of draft or fully composed email from Mr. Epstein. It appears to be intended for you. We do not have knowledge of whether you ever received it. Did you ever receive this
No.
email? Sorry, just for the record. Did you ever receive this email?
I never received this email.
Underst-
Letter or whatever it was.
Understanding that you have not received it and therefore have not previously seen it, is that correct?
Other than anything that counsel may have shown him.
I would like to touch on a few discrete parts of it. Mr. Epstein, at one point early in the email, says that, quote, "I owe a great debt to you as frankly you owe to me." Would you have any sense of why he might feel that way in general, or did he ever express that type of a sentiment to you?
No. When I saw this, like, I know in what you do or people do, they write letters to the file. I've never written one, like a memo to myself. And so I read this and I thought, this is like cover your ass kind of thing. And it just doesn't even sound the way he speaks. And just nonsense in it.
he also said, quote, "As I'm sure you recall, you didn't sit with your mother or sister or Sharon when a conflict arose, as I did it for you. You didn't sit with Jack Kessler, Stanley, or Stanley's son. I did it for you." Do you have any sense of what Mr. Epstein might be referring to there?
Well, I don't know what he's referring to about my mother or my sister. I know who Sharon was. Stanley, I presume, was our previous attorney, Stanley Schwartz, and his son worked in our business and, worked in it until he retired. So that I don't know what the hell he was talking about.
Did you ever ask Mr. Epstein to mediate a dispute or otherwise insert himself into a dispute with the individuals he mentioned here, your mother or sister or Sharon, for example?
No.
Mr. Epstein also says that, quote, "Abigail and I sat, she asked many questions, she made many unfair, aggressive, and false accusations, none of which could have been fully answered without violating a confidence with you." Firstly, do you have an understanding of what he's referring to in terms of Abigail and he having a conversation?
My wife and I have no secret, so the fact that he's having a secret, it's just nonsense.
He goes on to say that you and I had gang stuff for over 15 years, a great deal of it that she was unaware of. I had no intention of divulging any confidence of ours, no matter what accusations she made. So Mr. Epstein at least seems to be asserting that there was something confidential between you and he that your wife was not aware of. Do you have any sense of what that might be?
No.
I'm going to object to the whole thing. This is why we have the hearsay rule, but keep going.
Mr. Epstein goes on to say that, quote, "I always told you I would never under any circumstances give it up or put you in harm's way, no matter who, what, or when." Do you have any sense of what he might be referring to there? And I'll need a verbal, audible.
No, absolutely not. I mean, this is cover your ass psychobabble as far as I'm concerned.